Hi, I'm Dwight Streu, and I'm a realtor in Edmonton, Alberta, and I have been since 1987. I want to give you a little bit of an update in terms of what's been going on in the Edmonton real estate market in the month of June. Yes, the market has slowed, but that's pretty typical when we get to this time of year. We've come through a very busy spring, and as we hit summer, the market tends to slow down. Now, it's slowed down a fair bit. But sometimes we lose perspective, right? Yes, we came through a very, very busy spring. Homes were selling in multiple offers, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars over the asking price, selling in 2 or 3 days. But listen, folks, that's not normal. That is not normal. Like I've been through those markets just a handful of times, and they usually last for a few months, if that, and then things kind of go back to normal. And that's what we're seeing. So the market isn't tanking. It's just kind of going back to a little bit of a normal market. It's still a good market. So let's dive into the numbers and try and put the market into perspective. First of all, inventory is up. End of June, our inventory was up about 12.9% over the end of June last year. So that's a pretty significant increase. It means there's more properties for sale. But is that a big number? Well, not really, because if we look back a couple years, you'll see that our inventory level is about 5% lower than it was 2 years ago, and about 16% lower than it was 3 years ago. So our inventory levels are really still pretty reasonable. Yes, they're higher than they were in spring, but they're not high at all. Now let's look at the sales. Sales volume are about the same this June as they were June 2024. So sales volumes are still good, just we have a little bit more inventory, and so that is going to probably put some downward pressure on prices. Interesting, prices have actually held really well on everything except the detached homes. So semi-detached are about the same as they were, apartment condominiums are about the same as they were, and in fact, row housing townhouses are up about 1% over they were in May. But yes, single-detached homes have actually dropped in price a little bit. And that's really just reflective of there being more inventory and people having more choices. And now sellers have to price their homes a little bit more competitively. So we saw prices dip about 1% over May and about 1.7% over April. And that could continue if we continue to see inventories levels go up. We could see a little bit pull back on prices. But listen, they're still good. Like prices are up 6% over where they were last year. So we're still seeing some increase in prices, just not like we were in spring. So keep this in mind. Now, if you're buying, this is of course a good thing. You have more inventory. Homes aren't selling for outrageous prices over the asking price. You're not having to compete with 10 other people. It's a better time to buy for sure. In terms of selling, yeah, it's going to take you maybe a little bit longer. You're going to have to adjust your expectations a little bit. You may not get over the asking price. You may have to price your home reasonably because now there's more competition. You have some neighbors on the market. And so you do have to be a little bit more careful in terms of where you're pricing your home. But overall, folks, remember, it's still a really good market, especially when compared to some markets in Canada that are really taking it on the chin right now. So thanks for watching. We'll get back to you next month, let you know how the market's doing then.